right, welcome everyone to Boulder Insights December Tableau Live session. We're thrilled to have you join us. This is our Tableau Live that happens on the first Friday of every month. And we're super excited to be able to connect with you all each month and hear your questions that you have around Tableau or data analysis or business intelligence in general. We're happy to help guide you through that. I'm Heather Datillo, and we have Chris Cox, our Tableau Ninja Master, our principal owner of the company, he and I will be doing our best to answer your questions live today. We also, just by attending this, you are going to be entered to win some consulting time, free time with Chris, mentoring time with Chris in the month of December. So we had a few people win in November. So we'll be trying to start doing that each month. We started that as a kind of a Thanksgiving gratitude to you all, and we think it's been fun. So we're going to continue to do that. So all of you attending will be entering you into a drawing, and you'll hear from us afterwards if you won some free time with Chris to answer questions with your own data. I know sometimes we can't see your data in these meetings, and you need some private time with that. So let me open it up to the group. If you want to come off mute or put your questions into the chat, you can do that. Otherwise, we'll show you some tips and tricks of things that we've been doing over the last month as well. So, or last 10 years, whatever it might be as well. So any questions from the group? Oh, let me let one more person in.
I have a question. This is Mike Searle. My boss has asked to be able to kind of build his own dashboard based on charts that are in other dashboards. And I've looked into the functionality of the Tableau metrics, but I haven't seen it shown very well. I'm not sure that I quite understand the idea behind it, or if it is a possible solution for that request.
Chris, so taking worksheets from, can you repeat that just one more time, your question? I want to make sure I'm understanding it. Maybe Chris did too, that just using multiple worksheets within a dashboard, is that, or from multiple workbooks?
Yeah, so for multiple dashboards, being able to take, for example, a chart from dashboard 1, a key figure from dashboard 2, and sort of be able to have an area where he gets to pick which ones that he wants to see, first thing when he goes to Tableau online.
Okay, great.
So yeah, so there's some options for that. I mean, probably the easiest one is if he wants to. Let me just open up another window. I'll share my screen. Probably the easiest way to do it is so it's actually not going to work like you're really thinking, but I'll search for a couple things for you too. Let me share my screen here. So probably the easiest way is if we go on to server. So I'm assuming this. You said actually Tableau online, yep. Right? So we have posted. Let's go into
Tableau online
here. So so really the easiest way to have him do it is, say, if this is the dashboard that he wants, right? Let me move the thing over. Is just to say, okay, well, if you don't want these graphs, but there's other ones you want, just go in and click edit, and then you can add in other ones. So if you have a dashboard that's here, now I could pull in this actually trend line, and I could put that over here if I wanted to, and that kind of stuff. So it seems like to me, just using the server edit function would let him do that.
If they're in the same workbook, Chris, if they're in a different workbook, then I don't know that that's
right. Yeah. So yeah, if it's different workbooks, it's not going to work. But he didn't say workbook; he said dashboards. So what that means to me is that you have a bunch of different dashboards in one workbook, which all have different sheets. So every sheet you should be able to pull in. Same way I did here with this whole trend.
The other thing I'm thinking, Chris, maybe an index page functionality. Maybe we can show. I don't know if I'm understanding Mike's question fully, but is he wanting to choose between, like, here are all the dashboards that I have, and I'm not sure which one I want to go to first, and he wants to be able to choose that from one page? Is that what you're asking, Mike?
So I guess a specific example, we have, so we're an investment firm. We have like a real estate dashboard. We also have like a private equities dashboard, and those dashboards are sort of standalone, amongst themselves. He wants to be able to take, for example, an allocation spreadsheet or chart from the real estate dashboard, as well as, potentially like a market value chart that's in the private equities dashboard, and kind of pick and choose. Those are the ones that he wants to sort of create not a super dashboard, but just wants visibility into quickly without having to go to each dashboard necessarily.
So well, I mean, so it sounds like that. I think that I think the best way to do that is kind of we're showing here is if he is basically he needs to build his own dashboard. So if this workbook had multiple sources in it, right? If I had multiple, like I have, let's just kind of build yours really quick. So let me just build a new, let me just build a new dashboard. Is basically what he's wanting, it sounds like to me, is I'll just kind of grab a few things. So like, let's say we'll call this one actually investments, right? So we have sales by products. We'll call this one actually investments. Okay, so if this is on that one data source, and let's say I have like another one. So I'm assuming these are not in the same database. Is that fair to say or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. So I'm just going to add in another. It's going to be basically the same file, but just so we can see it be two separate things. So if I pull in this guy, and we'll make this be people, something totally different. I don't have much people. Let's do our returns. Just something so it looks totally different. All right, so I have some information here. It doesn't give me much. So I go back to make an extract of this. So now what would happen is you have two different options. So now I have two different data sources. So if you've already built the investment sheet for him, and then you go build one for these returns, maybe this one's just a count, count of the total of returns. Maybe it's just some big number, and he want to combine these two into one. So the one, if it's already built, that's great. So this is count. Okay. So now, so basically, if you had a workbook that had all the possible sheets in it, so if we have all those set up, so I'm going to have two here. So then I'll publish this up to server. Let's put it into. Sometimes it does that. There it goes. Sometimes Tableau doesn't let me do that. So we'll put it in the default folder. So we'll call this make your own dashboard. Right. So not very patient. Okay. So now we're here. So now what can happen is he can go into this sheet and he can say, okay, yep, that's great. I actually want this one and I want some other one. So if he clicks the edit and now he adds in a dashboard, he can say, okay, yeah, I want this one and I want this one on the same sheet. And I want it to look like this. I want that on top. I want it over here, and that's perfect. So now rename this as my combined dashboard.
Okay.
Basically it.
Yep, I think I get the gist.
Yeah. So then you save, and so now he comes back in, and now this, when I close out, now I have a new a new actually dead dashboard that I just actually made. Does that make sense?
It does. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
The other suggestion I would have too, Mike, is if you know this is a use case that he has often, you may want to, build the exact dashboard he's asking for if he has that same pattern of what he's looking at. That might be a solution too. Sometimes the user story and use case that people have shifts and changes from your original dashboard, and sometimes it's a matter of building another one. But I know that's not quite giving them the make your own dashboard piece. So Chris, in our chat, we do have another question from Raymond regarding server. So since you were just in server too, and it was sent privately to me. So let me move that into the Slack channel for you. Or do you want me to put it in Slack or in chat? I guess Slack, I'll do it here. Yeah, and there you go. So it should be in the Slack training questions. And so Raymond, I don't know if you want to come off mute or if you want me to read this. So kind of up to you either way, if you want to share what's happening.
Okay. So yeah, so you're getting the following error on my web connector extracts only. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, you can't have so for like a web connectors, you can't actually be actually live. So that's just a rule of that. I can share in.
But you can have extracts on web connectors.
Yes.
Scheduled ones.
You can only have that. So if I
for some reason only my web connector ones are failing, and I'm not quite sure why. I don't know. I check embed username and password when you publish it, but other than that, I don't know why it's.
Oh, so is it so it's not like you failing you like your desktop. It's failing when you try to refresh in server.
Yeah, exactly. So every week I'm actually having them manually go update it in desktop.
Yeah. So your problem is actually this. It is trying to think of the fast way to show you this.
All the things on Tableau forum has just told me to disconnect and reconnect the extract.
Yeah. No, it's not actually that. It's so it's actually this. So you have to actually let me find it really quick for you. There is a I know I had this saved somewhere. There is a register. Maybe it. So you have to do this on server. So you have to add it to the whole like a safe list. So if you don't have your web data connector registered on the server, then it's not going to refresh.
Can you? That's awesome.
That definitely sounds promising.
Yep.
Can you?
A problem for sure.
Yep, and you'll put that in the chat.
Yep.
Real quick on a follow-up on that. Sometimes on desktop, it tries to connect to my extract and says I can't find the extract. Is that something I should manually be saving it and naming it something so I can find the extract? Because I don't know where it's saved. It pops up a browse window and says locate for me, and I get in a infinite loop where I'm stuck and just have to create a new source and replace it.
So what's happening on that is I'm guessing when that happens, it's a version of the workbook that you have now that you've actually downloaded from the server.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is when you upload the dashboard to the server, then then it creates this whole like a template path for the extract. So if you don't have the same path on your computer, then you're not going to be able to find it. So I have seen that happen, especially if you do the extract and you upload it and then you download it, it should work. It should find your path. But if someone else did and say that their path to that file is a little different, like you have your drive named Z, they have theirs named F. right? Well, it's going to save that, and if it can't find it, it's going to put it in this temp folder. So that's probably what's happening.
Can I just save one locally that I know how to reference and it matches the same?
Yeah, you should be able to.
But when I'm creating the extract, it never pops up a location to where to save it, just so I could like.
So probably for that you're gonna have to do it twice. So do it once, like so. So like if this one, if I just do a refresh, it's not gonna do it. It's gonna just not ask me for anything. But actually here, so it's telling me it's a different error. Here, let me just do it for you real quick. So so if it's not doing it, let me do this one because when we can get rid of it. So if we take off the extract from here and then we delete it, now I'm going to be going live against it. So if I didn't have the right connection, that's the fastest way to find it. So now if I edit it, it's going to tell me where that is. So I can edit the connection and find out, okay, this is where it's expecting me to go, right? And so now when I go in and create this extract, because it's not, let's go back here. So it's actually live right now. So if I create this extract, it is going to ask me where can I save it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So it's from the creation window, not from the data source window.
Yep, you got it.
Oh, I always create them from the data source window, and that's probably why it doesn't ask me.
And so here's kind of a good extra tip. So if you do it this way, so there's more options if you don't do it here. So if you do it here, you really don't get any choices. So kind of the whole process I like to do is probably when I'm first starting with a new data source, I will do it here first. So if I'm starting with a brand new workbook, I'll go ahead and create an extract, then I'll actually build, right? Then I'll go build all my stuff. And if it's a huge data set, I might even make it smaller or something. But then once I build it and I realize, okay, I'm just using, actually use this one, because we've only got a couple things here, is so for this data set, I'm only using two fields. So the part that you don't get in that other actually window is you don't get this button. Well, it's going to ask me to save actually.
It says like use only relevant fields or something.
Yeah, it's going to say hide unused fields. So this actually deletes them from the extract, so it makes it smaller and faster. So, but that's kind of a key button right there.
Awesome.
To use.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. That was great. I look forward to trying both of those things, so I have less frustration.
And put that link, Heather, in the.
I did. I got it already. Yep.
She put it in there. I'll go ahead and try to add that safe extract thing to the server.
Great. And one of the other advantages when Chris was showing the hide unused fields, you can always turn off the extract. Say, don't use extract and then get those fields back. If sometimes I Marie Kondo my data sets a little bit too much and say these data, these columns are bringing me joy, and then I need them back. So that's the one nice thing about an extract is you can turn it off and on and then, right click in the data pane and say show hidden fields and then bring those back by controlling and clicking or commanding and clicking on them.
Let me kind of follow up on that. I'll show you two different things. So if I'm creating a brand new one just so we can make it so here so it did ask me to save. So you can actually from here still does it. It says, hey, I want to go ahead and save it the first time. So that's going to do this. I'm going to rename this one to just so we know which one we're talking about. Hide unused. Okay, so in this one, so if I use a couple things, so I use product name and ship mode and sales, right? So if I use all this, let's make it look like something, some chart. So now if I can always do this, I can always hide unused fields here, and that makes this nice and neat. But I mean, this actually doesn't exclude them from my whole extract. All it did was just hide them. So they're still actually available. So I could still show them and they're still here and I can right click and get this one back, right? So that's still possible. If you do it this way, I gotta go ahead and hide this guy. If I if I said, hey, I want to extract this data and I want to, it's not even let me do it. I need to unextract first. So remove the extract. We'll go ahead and remove it and delete it. And then we'll actually build it from here.
You can
And
also uncheck use extract. That's another quick way to do it. Not now, but because you already did. But that right below that, there's a check mark you can often do.
I don't know why it's not giving me my hide unused fields button.
Because it's not an extract yet. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. It should be there. It should be there.
Well, anyway, this actually should work. I don't know why that's not coming in, but it should let me hide the unused fields. I don't know what that's not doing that. It's weird.
Try it on my Superstore once. Let's just look at that extract. If you right click and go to uncheck use extract, then
I got to replace it with.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, sorry, I forgot you did that. But anyway, that is typically you can uncheck use extract, go back in go to your data pane, unhide the fields and select the ones you want, and then re-extract. That's typically what would happen.
So typically, whenever you do this,
yeah, that's strange.
Then even if you and maybe it'll already do it because I already have them hidden. Let's see. So now I would expect it to not even show any fields. Yeah, that did work. So see, when I click show hidden fields, they're actually gone now. So since I already had them hidden, when I hid them at the time of making the extract is what it did. So now to get those fields back, I can't just do it that. I have to go and I got to go take off the extract. Now I can see them, right? So now I'm going live. So if I wanted this one back, I've got to unhide it. And here, let's do it this way, because I think I know what the problem is. So if I unhide all these guys, so now they're all active, right? So now if I create my extract again, now it's going to have this button. It's going to show up now. So that's going to do that same thing for me on the fly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that was it. So see, that one I even unhid is now gone because it's not being used. But the show is not going to do anything for me because they're now physically gone from the extract.
Yep, unless you turn the extract off. Yep.
Right.
Awesome. Okay. Any other questions? I know we have some faces of folks that join us each month and some new faces too. So if you have, the way this works is that you just come to us with your Tableau questions or even data analytics and business intelligence questions, and we can answer them for you. So if anyone else has a question, let us know that.
Nothing. That's it. Huh?
All right. So if you don't have a question, is there a tip or trick that you are interested in us demonstrating, that you know there's a way to do something and you'd like us to see it? Otherwise, we can show some of our other tips and tricks that we do, Chris. We can think through some of the things we can show recently.
So I'll tell you one actually tip I think is really cool. This is something that we just used recently again, and I've done it before. I kind of had forgotten it. Let me share my screen. So a lot of times we have clients that say, "Okay, great, we have this graph built, but we want to be able to switch between showing this as a number or showing this as a percentage." That's kind of an often thing, right? So obviously we can do that quickly by just doing a percent of total, right? That actually does that for us. And then we could even make a quick parameter. We'll just call it be fast here, percent or number. And then we want to create a calculation that does that. So we'll call it the same thing. So if I don't think I even did anything to that parameter. Now think about it. I didn't really make it. I just made the name string. Sorry, going too fast here.
And you don't have to. We've got time. So you're good.
Some questions are going to come in. Okay. So you have two options on this parameter, the percent or other. So same thing, we'll call this field, we're going to use it, percent or string. So if that equals percent. Then we use this. Else we just use the sum of sales, right? And it would probably help me, and I probably should have done this. And I wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't leave it like this for now. This is fine for now, but there's one other step you're going to want to do. So now I have my percenter total, so I can put that in here, and I can show my parameter. Okay, and I can switch those out. Maybe, yeah, there it goes. So percentage versus number, right? Okay, that's actually great, but my real problem is that I only have one field to do my whole format. So if I try to format this to look good for the percentage, then it doesn't look good, right? So I don't want to do this as a percentage here. Whoops, I'm a pain really. So if I do that, that looks great, but now when I switch back to number, it doesn't look good, right? So that's like the problem. So the problem is that you don't want to format this one at all. You want to get rid of the formatting here. Format and automatic. Okay, so you want to leave it like this. But what we want to do is we want to. I'm just going to back up a couple steps because I want to use that other field. So I have to retype it. This is when. Well, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to create a field from this. So just drag it over here, and it's going to make that. So I'm going to have this be sum of sales percentage, and then I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call it rename. Oops, I'm going to edit it, and sum of sales number. Okay, so this gives me sum of sales. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my same parameter. I'm going to say if my percent, let's do a space there. If my percent, or here it is. No, it's not letting me do it. I'm just dragging it. I think it doesn't like that. If that equals, I already have it this way. Quote number, then sum of sales, and then nothing. Okay, so that gives me this, and I'm going to use the same thing over here, and then go over to this one, and we edit, and we're going to put this, but we'll just say not equal to, just to make it faster. So if it's not equal to that, then we want to do this count. Why did that not work? There we go. Okay. So now what we have is we want to turn off this label. So we don't want to. So it's fine changing the axis or whatever. That's what this is going to do for us now. So if I put on my regular percent or total, we already know this is going to work. Show my parameter control. So what we're going to do is these two fields that we made, we want to put those on our actual label. So now these can be formatted ever how we want. So this one is going to be formatted by dollars. So currency will be currency with no decimals. And this one is formatted. So now we have two different fields that you format. Percentage. Okay, so now what happens is when I change, let's make this one be a single value list, is my label is going to show a different number. I should be in currency. Did I not choose currency? Oh, no. What I did. Oh, I did number. There we go. There we go. So now we have, so now we just basically made it so if like this is selected, that one is still on label, but it's actually blank. So it just doesn't even show up. So now I have the ability to change my number, but changing my label got easier because now I have two fields to to be able to leverage. Does that make sense? I think that's kind of a cool little.
Super
hack.
cool. All right. We have a couple more questions coming in, Chris. So one is from Christy, and she didn't have any specific questions, but she was interested in creating small multiple charts, and she gets confused when to use rank versus index and how to use them. So Christy, if Christy need more clarification, Christy, you might want to come off mute and help us. But if you're talking small multiples, are you talking like scatter plots with trend lines, and there's several of those small multiple charts, or?
With the small multiples, so I work a lot with the healthcare data, but with using Superstar, I'm thinking you could probably do, your category as your columns. It's kind of using the X and Y coordinate calculations. I just learned about those. But if I want to do multiple measures, so like across, or if I want to do, look at the sales would be in like one column, and then maybe profit would be in another column, and then in a third column, I want to show just the number of items sold as like a context for a volume. So maybe you only sell 3 pieces of furniture, but it's $10,000, but you sell 50 staplers, and that's $8,000, for some context. But instead of having it as different views, you kind of have the 3 measures kind of next to each other, so you can kind of look at the length of the bars for each of those 3 measures, but divided by the item.
Yeah.
So I think I understand. So like here, I was going to count the orders as kind of the last one. So
I can show you a picture of an example I'm talking about, maybe.
yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
your screen.
Go ahead and share your screen if you
sorry.
have it.
I was going to see if I maybe show my video. Oh,
Okay. Hi.
Sorry, I'm very comfortable today. Sorry.
Yeah, everybody's working from home. You should be comfortable.
Yeah. So I just got this book. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It just came out in November. Fantastic book. It doesn't tell you how to create visits, but it kind of gives you more about like theory. But in this, I don't know. So like here's just like an example of a small multiple where you're looking at different age groups. I'm trying to find the one that I really keep referencing to its healthcare data. Well, even something like this, I don't.
Yeah.
So it's talking about just different coverage based on your different types of patients in hospitals. But just see how it's actually just one viz. It's not 3 separate worksheets.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Here, go back to my screen real quick. So that one isn't so. So in looking at that's really not 3 different metrics. It's really just one actually metric.
Right, and that.
So it's sales, and then all you do is just add like let's do ship mode. So add ship mode at the top. So that's your chart.
Yep, you're right. But then here you have your index. So again, I didn't come prepared. I'm just starting to look at the small multiples after reading this book, and I'm going, So I did explain that wrong. You're right, Chris. It was one metric, but I guess I'm trying to do, if there's a way where you can do, like if you're just looking at delivery trucks, like if you took off your customer name, and could you do delivery truck and say how many packages, what's the time? So instead where your index 1 is, like, can you do multiple metrics, I guess, across the top?
So when you say, so let's just pull in profit. I'm not sure what you're trying to get to. So I can pull in multiple metrics. So sales and profit for the trucks, right?
Right. But I want to compare the metrics for the delivery truck against the metrics for, I don't know, air delivery, or.
I mean, I think
maybe
that way. I would just move your ship mode down. So
yeah.
now I'm saying So you just put, so now I have multiple metrics, and then instead of customer name, I just put in whatever you're wanting to compare.
Yeah. So yeah, this is exactly it. But then how, like, I see you also have index on your row. So how are you using that versus rank, and how do those things work?
Kind of actually same. It's really the same thing. Rank is not going to do anything different for you. It's just going to let you. So index is going to be tied to what you have in the view, and rank you're going to have to. I think it's going to give me the same thing. I'm going to have to give it something. I have to tell it what to actually rank on, right? So I need to actually say it's going to be sales. So I could do that. Well, what the heck?
It's missing a parenthesis. Yeah, that's all.
Oh, I'll need the. Yeah, I need one more. There we go. So it's probably going to give me the same thing. I want to actually, well, this one's going to matter about how I have it sorted, versus this one is going to look at the data and do it, right?
So that's ranking on the cells.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is actually ranking based on the sales. That's what I've told it to rank on. Versus your index is going to automatically order about how you have it done. So if you wanted to resort this, like I can resort this column a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to, I want to sort my ship mode a different way. So then this is not going to change. So I'm really just so my index is just numbering my rows. My rank is tied to the actual data.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely. We're so glad you could join us, Christy, and keep the questions coming. So we had another question, Chris, from Octavio, and I've just put in some resources that I often share with people. It's more of a comment that Octavio has, that he just was informed this morning that his employer will be moving to Tableau next year with full transition by June 30th. So he's a BI developer, and he is going to have to ramp up with Tableau pretty quickly. He has a lot to learn over the next few months. So some suggestions I put into the chat for everyone. I'll just bring this over and share my screen, make this a little bigger. These are some of the first places I send people, is to, take a look at some of the free training videos and webinars that are there. So if you haven't gone to the Tableau website, oh, I'm not? I thought it was. Oh, it's not seeing my chat. That's the problem. So let me do this. I've got this on Slack over here. That might work better. Yeah, I forget you can't see my chat window. Thank you. So here are some of the resources that I put in that are a great way to start. There's a ton of free training videos on Tableau. There's some free live webinars and some on-demand webinars. But one of the places I like to send people when they're first kind of learning as well is this starter kit. And it used to be easy to find on Tableau's website. It's kind of a hidden nugget that's there now. But the nice thing about the Tableau starter kit is there are different sections in it of just getting kind of oriented with what Tableau is. And so it's beyond just doing the videos and following the videos through. It actually has things like TED Talks about, building visualizations, and kind of walks you through to, well, why is data visualization important? So it has articles, it has TED Talks, it has exercises and videos that you can do, different blog posts. So here's the Hans Rosling TED Talk that's great, and starting to work with data, then moving to building vizzes, and all of the basics, and kind of leads you through kind of a guided way to navigate the free Tableau videos that are there. And it takes you all the way up to, getting to calculations, going hands-on and getting deeper. So this is one of my favorite places to send people. If you know that you're going to be needing to work with your own data and get up to speed quickly, the best bet you have is to work with us, and we can coach and mentor you and help you with your own data and get your first few dashboards built for you. And our goal always, the reason we do these Tableau Live sessions, the reason Boulder Insight exists, is that we have been in the field long enough to know where there's gaps with Tableau. And we want to be your trusted advisor and coach and mentor you so you can do these things on your own. That will help you with the heavy lifting, will help you get where you need to go. But that might be something to consider too, Octavio. And then if you just go to the Tableau website itself, I do have the links to the items now. It's all been a little bit different. Where is learning? Where is learn?
Yes, as a resources learn.
Okay, thanks. It got moved. Thank you for that. I'm like, I can't even find it anywhere. So here are the free training videos that starter kit is kind of taking you to. And so these are great, you know, to be able to get to the videos. What I do recommend is that when you are looking at any videos and you want to know more about, you know, sorting your data and things, let me sign in here real fast. The nice thing that you want to do, I did not know this when I first started doing these, is you'll notice there's more related resources under whatever topic you're interested in. But when you click watch now, and I'll stop this right away. That's Tableau Siri, I call her. You'll notice underneath the video, it changes to having an exercise workbook, a solution workbook, and a transcript. And so this is how we teach the Tableau courses. I'm the training director here, Director of Training and Education for Boulder Insight, and I teach with our own clients, but I also teach on behalf of Tableau courses. And you start with a starter workbook, you have a solution, and then you have a manual that walks you through the steps when we do training. And that's essentially what these training videos will do for you. I did not know that there was an exercise workbook and tried to build everything with the Superstore, and it wasn't always the same data. So just want to save you that. The other thing under Learn is there are training classes too. So you should be able to see training videos. Here's the live training and instructor-led training. And there is e-learning if your company wants to purchase that. I do find having instructor-led training is sometimes more helpful to get you there quickly. So the first course that I probably recommend is this Analyst Bootcamp. It takes your D1 and D2 accelerated course. That may be all you need is D1 and D2 accelerated. If you need to do some data prep and things with Tableau Prep, the bootcamp then adds on another day. You have actually 2 days of fundamentals, 2 days of intermediate, and 1 day of Tableau Prep in the bootcamp. Is a newer course that just came out. So that's a way to go. Once you get more under your belt, then you can move into visual analytics and D3, but you're going to want to have some fundamentals and intermediate skills under your belt, and you may need Tableau Prep, you may not. So if you don't need Tableau Prep, I'd probably more bang for your buck. You get D1 and D2 accelerated into a 3-day class. That's probably where I'd recommend. But again, if you're really trying to ramp up fast with your own data, it's great. These training courses are awesome and building your fundamentals, but it's a fairy tale. Since COVID has hit, I don't train as often anymore. My travel has cut back, and I've been doing a lot more of the consulting end for our company. You know, my training data is a fairy tale because everything is clean and columnar and it all works. And so consulting data has been kind of humbling for me to be able to know that there's some cleanup that I've got to do of the data as well. And when you're working with your own data, going from training to your own data, it is definitely a leap. And that's where you often need some coaching and mentoring. I find anytime we sell training to our own clients, we always recommend a couple weeks after training that we do a coaching and mentoring session with you or with your team and things as well. So I will stop sharing my screen here and see if that helps. So any other thoughts you have, Chris, too, around?
No, I think that was definitely it. But I will say that the coaching and mentoring for when you're trying to go from any examples you're going to find online to your own data is just massive because we've done this so many times for every possible company type and problem that you can even think of. So it's very often that I will see what you're wanting to do, and then I'll look at the data and say, okay, well, we can't use this data this actually way. It actually needs to be deep versus wide or something like that, or we need to build some other kind of things into it, because you're going to struggle if you try to. So that like a book is great that you had, right? And you can look at those examples, but if your data isn't formatted the formatted in the right way to get that example, then you're never going to get there, and you're going to end up really kind of frustrated because it seems simple in the book, but that's based off a certain structure that they're probably not going to show you. So having us say, oh, you know what, that is easy to do if you do this other step first. That's just kind of the huge like part of it. And then like things I just showed about something as simple as changing out the label to be a percentage versus actually currency. Like those are little tricks that you're gonna actually get in training, but it's something that you need, you know.
And I've been doing this for 6 years. I have learned more in the last 6 months, just from real world applications too. I mean, I love teaching and the curriculum is solid, but until you really start playing with your own data and other people's data, you know, there's just things that we don't teach in the curriculum that I don't have the opportunity to have to solve that question and that problem. So I think it's been really exciting to be able to work in both arenas for the company. And Octavio, just to add, you know, a little bit more pressure for him, Chris, he's also going to be the admin. So I think he'll need some server help as well with that. So one.
There. Let me share my screen and give you one solid tip on that
Okay.
I would do immediately. So whenever you get your server set up, the very first thing that you want to do, and I'll actually tell you why. That's interesting. Close. All right, sign me out. Is, man, get out of here. Why is it not letting me clear out of this thing? Okay. So when you get your server set up, you're gonna have this default site, and you're gonna have this default folder. You're gonna want to change this, and it doesn't even matter for the default. So I wouldn't use this one for really anything. I would always create a new site, because you're gonna want to have server site admins or different things. So the default is a great place to start. So I would definitely recommend putting in a new site first and then actually controlling that. But one of the things I would do is once you get into, so if you know, let's create a new one. Let's do a new site. Manage all sites. Create a new one. Okay. Test site. Okay. So here's where you can do a lot of stuff about, you know, how many users can be on it, or you know, those type of things. So I'll go into my test site that I just made, wherever it is. As you see, I got a bunch of sites. So what's going to happen is it's going to actually create this default folder. Out of default, it's going to say that your content is actually editable. So what this means is that whoever publishes to this folder, to this site, to this folder can pick who actually has permissions to it. So that's not something that you want. You want it to be locked, because as the server admin, you want to set who has access to it. So that's like the first thing I would do, is actually change out the default folder. The second thing I would do is I would get rid of the all users access. So you don't want it to always have anybody who has access to this folder. You don't want them to have access to everything. So you want that to be very kind of set up. So I would just actually delete this rule. And then now that's done. So now the great thing about it, once you set your default folder in your site, then that's going to be the default rules for all of your new folders. So if I create a new project, then I don't even have to go and check. It's going to actually inherit whatever I set up in my default. So if I go and check my permissions here, it's going to not have the all user access, and it's already going to be, hey, did I not do that part? Yeah, I didn't do it in the default. So it should be locked to permissions. Okay. So Tableau has changed that then, because that used to apply. That stinks. So that's used to this should have been locked because it should have actually inherited from there, but looks like it's not doing that now.
So now you have to do it individually, huh, for each folder.
So, but anyway, that's super important to have that done, because that way you don't put the access permissions in the hands of your users. You put it in the hands of the whole server admin.
And that same place, Raymond, that I went to for the trainings, the instructor-led trainings, there is Tableau server trainings as well. I don't teach those. I teach all the desktop trainings, but there are great resources out there and really good other trainers from Tableau to teach those as well. So good luck. Know that we're here. One of the things, Chris, I'll show my screen quickly. And then we do have another question from Raymond that we'll talk about. So let me share my screen. So when we talk about, sometimes you just might need, a little bit of help from Chris, and some of you are going to win some time with Chris today as well. But if you go to our site, boulderinsight.com, you'll see this little red pill on any page on the site. When you click on that, this gets you time with Chris. So if it's just a quick question that you have, you can use the Tableau questions form again. I'll pull that over. We have the questions form that I put into the chat. I'll put it in there again for people who came later. You can always ask us questions this way, and we usually will save them for our Tableau live session the next month. If it's urgent, you let us know that. You can schedule a free 15 minutes with Chris, but oftentimes it's a little bit more than that. So you can do 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, and these are paid times with Chris, but I'm telling you, the hours of your life you get back by just working with Chris is going to save you a ton of money from that. The other option you have is that we are doing coaching and mentoring and with you on a monthly basis, where you get a much better rate than these one-offs with it, and that we can set up a contract with you and put you on as a coaching and mentoring retainer, where 5 hours a month we have you booked and scheduled into our sprint planning, so you have time to get coaching with us and you bring those questions in. But then if you always have these free sessions with us once a month on the first Friday as well. So that is just making sure you guys have support in between these sessions. Raymond's question was, when you define the center of a color control, can you not control that number by you can't control that number by a parameter, correct? And Raymond, maybe you want to be clear if Chris doesn't understand the question I'm asking.
I think I got it.
You got it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't actually think you can. So what you're asking is, if I threw this on color, then I want to edit. I want to do advanced, and I want this actually center to be something I can use a parameter to control where it is.
Yeah.
Exactly, because the center on one of our visualizations is basically the user's KPI goal. So if they're in the center, they're at goal. If they're below or above, they're above. Or
yeah, that would be nice. I think there's probably it'd be nice if you could do it here. If you could just reference this to be as a parameter, it'll make it really easy.
But it's not dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it like that.
But you could create a parameter, don't you think, Chris?
You could create your own and do it. So kind of like, probably very similar. I think how I would attack it is similar to how I did this. Is just, we have a different field we're going to use. So maybe it's a different color metric. I don't know. I'm trying to think through how to do that. I don't think there's like an easy way to do that, but I'm sure it can be done. Or I'm sure we could get close to getting what you want. I would need to kind of see it.
yeah, I can troubleshoot that with parameters and try to see if I can figure something out clever. It would be nice if you could do it in there, but it didn't look like it was possible.
Yeah, no, it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think we could get there, but it would be taking more than the 3 minutes we have left, I think. But we
totally
can give some thinking around it. But I wish it was dynamic there. That would be one of the things to vote up for sure in the Tableau. Chris, where do you know how to get to that? chart on
Yeah,
Tableau's
yeah.
website where you can vote up features? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, I used to get to that quickly, but a few things changed on the site. I'm not finding
Yeah, I
things as
can find that
elegantly.
section. Yeah, they changed a lot of their stuff on Tableau.
They sure did.
Well,
Obviously, I can't even find
a
trainings.
lot of the forum links now go to dead links. Have you guys noticed that? And
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
I think what's happened, I'm in some private forums as well as a trainer, depending on which courses you teach. We have different forums. They transferred over to Salesforce sites and things, and that's why I think some of those things did not get transferred well.
yeah, they didn't index from like search results really.
Nope, I found that as well. So it has to be a little bit tricky. So we have 2 minutes left. Is there anyone else that has a question or comment or anything that you'd like us to cover before the last 2 minutes are over? Oh, here's Christy. Yeah, that would be great to work on this for a future session. Yeah, absolutely. We can think through that. I'll put that question, Chris, into the Slack channel for our training questions. And maybe we can think through building that out next month with it. So that is the other thing with the training questions forum. If you don't have a specific question, but you say, hey, I really want to know how to use multiple measures in a view in different ways, you can let us know and we can make sure to have some of that prepared to show you. And a lot of it I have in workbooks that are prepared as well too for you that we can share too. So one of the things that is coming in 2021 from us is that we are getting Kevin, who is not with us on our call today, is working really hard to take the recordings from all of the Tableau live sessions and putting them into editing them and putting them into a YouTube channel. And so they'll be into our YouTube channel, and there'll be some more things on our website. So that's a big goal of ours to finish up this quarter. So come 2021, you'll be able to get to the recordings and watch all the things that we've been moving through quickly in these calls. So happy December to you all. I hope that you have a safe and happy holidays and that you're all well. I know that we're living in times where we're all working from home and, trying to find places to be safe. And so I hope that you can find time to find some gratitude and joy and with your families, enjoy your December. But no, we're always here to help you. We are your trusted advisors. That's really what we want to be to everyone. So keep in touch with those questions. You can always email me directly at heather@boulderinsight.com or chris@boulderinsight.com, or get to Chris on that little red pill, and in my signatures, if we email back and forth, you can get to my calendar too, and I'm happy to walk you through things as well. So happy December, everybody. Happy holidays. We'll see you next year. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.